The importance of holding onto property and your property portfolio. If you have got property or you've embarked on that journey, you're obviously holding your wealth and you're wanting this asset to increase over time and obviously build your wealth base towards your long-term goals. In order for us to get there, we've got to hold the property. And we've really seen that obviously rates were here and they've gone down and they're obviously coming back up, but it is going to be tough for some, but holding on to these assets is obviously where your wealth is going to be created over time. Really, if I look at this instance and we look at the data over time, you'll hear the phrase of property doubles every 7 to 10 to 15 years, whatever the case is, that we need to hold on to these properties in order for you to get that long-term compounding effect. So if we've got a property portfolio of $2 million, it's compounding at 10% or 5% each year, it's kind of 100K you'd think in equity in the background on that side of things. And when obviously we've had this shift in interest rates of that, okay, now it's going up, I might be slightly negative, or I'm now even more negative than I was before, where our wealth is being made is in the holding and the growth of this asset over time. And that, based on data, doesn't really seem to be slowing down. Even though interest rates are going up and it's getting harder to hold these properties, the longer we can hold them, the more we should be getting those gains within the equity position. If we look at areas like Queensland as an example, you've obviously got the Olympic Games coming. You've got areas in Adelaide that have certainly been increasing over the past couple of years and more people moving there because it's more desirable. And then also areas of Perth where there's a rental crisis. There's not enough houses for the people that are going over there. We've got between 400 to 500,000 migrants on average predicted to come into Australia, and they're all going to need a roof over their head. They're coming in from overseas. They're going to have money. If you can't hold your property, chances are a migrant that's got a lot of money is going to pay it. You might think you made profit on it, but you want to try and enter the market, it's going to be a lot harder at this point in time. So again, where your wealth is going to be made is by holding these properties, because if you sell it, you've got to pay capital gains, you've got to pay agents fees, you've got to pay transfer costs, all this type of jazz that if you made 50 or 100 grand, once you take out those fees, you're going to be left with a lot less than that. So when you actually get out of the property, it's not going to be that much. If you can weather the storm, hopefully interest rates come down, maybe you'll get a change in income, change in scenario, you pay out a car loan, credit card, whatever it is. There are ways to restructure things, but I've never heard anyone say, I'm so glad I sold my property 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
I bought that property in 1990 for 100 grand and I sold it for 150. I'm a legend.
It's now worth 3.1 million today. Imagine if they held it and the rent probably would have covered it. So have a chat to your parents, have a chat to your grandparents, have a chat to anyone who's sold a property in the last couple of years, and I nearly guarantee they'd say, oh, imagine if I held it. Oh, done something like that. But selling, if you can avoid it, it's certainly going to make sure that you keep growing your wealth base. So if you can make it work, great. If you need to have a chat about trying to strategize on making it work so you can hold on to your wealth base and portfolio, feel free to reach out to us and we'll see what we can do. Cheers.